That's right. Last night, the triumphant return of the product herself, Angel Reese.
Because you is part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on.
Angel Reese stepped onto the court last night after weeks of mysterious absence, probably expecting the kind of welcome reserved for conquering heroes. You know the scene she had playing in her head? Packed arena, deafening cheers, fans holding up signs begging for her autograph? The self-proclaimed savior of the WNBA was back, and surely Chicago had been counting down the days until their queen returned to her throne. Instead, she walked into Wintrust Arena and found herself staring at row after row of empty seats. The silence was so thick you could practically hear her ego deflating in real time. Only 6,724 fans showed up to witness the grand return of the Chai Barbie. In an arena that holds 9,500 people, that means nearly 3,000 fans decided that literally anything else, grocery shopping, washing their car, reorganizing their sock drawer, was more appealing than watching Angel Reese play basketball. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Just a few months ago, Reese was running around claiming she was the reason for massive sellout crowds at Indiana Fever games. She genuinely believed that thousands of people were flooding arenas just to catch a glimpse of her greatness. The delusion was so strong that when those Fever games packed the house, she took full credit, conveniently ignoring that tickets were being practically given away for $3. That's less than a large coffee at most places, folks. The truth bomb that exploded last night was impossible to ignore. Without bargain basement ticket prices, and without Caitlyn Clark on the opposing team to actually draw fans, Angel Reese discovered what her real pulling power looks like. Turns out, it's about as strong as her layup game, which is to say, embarrassingly weak. Let's rewind and talk about how we even got to this moment of brutal reality. Reese had been missing from the court for weeks, claiming a back injury was keeping her sidelined. Now, nobody's saying injuries don't happen in professional sports. But when your injury timeline mysteriously syncs up with your team's struggles and your own plummeting performance, even the most casual fans start raising eyebrows. The pattern had become as predictable as a bad sitcom plot. Team starts losing, Angel's back starts hurting. Personal stats looking rough? Time for another mysterious absence. Teammates need their supposed leader? Sorry, the Chai Barbie has left the building. It happened so often that fans started treating her injury reports like fairy tales. Entertaining fiction that nobody actually believes. One frustrated fan summed it up perfectly. Her back isn't broken from carrying the team like she claims. It's broken from carrying the weight of her own delusions. The sarcasm was sharp, but the sentiment was shared by thousands who've watched Reese treat her WNBA career like an optional summer job rather than a professional commitment. What makes this whole situation even more infuriating for genuine basketball fans is seeing how real stars handle adversity. When Caitlyn Clark missed games earlier this season, Indiana Fever fans turned into amateur detectives. They analyzed every press conference, scrutinized injury reports, and rewatched game footage frame by frame. Why? Because they knew Clark would never just abandon her team when things got tough. She'd play through pain, show up for her teammates, and put winning above her personal comfort. The contrast is so stark it's almost comical. Clark treats every game like it matters because to her, it does. Reese treats games like Instagram content opportunities. Great when the lighting's good and she's feeling cute, but totally skippable when things get challenging. Is it any wonder fans have stopped buying what she's selling? But wait, the story gets even more delusional. While Reese was supposedly nursing this conveniently timed back injury, reports started surfacing about what she was really focused on. Brace yourself for this one. Angel Reese wants to launch her own signature shoe line. Not just any shoe line, but one that she believes will rival Michael Jordan's Air Jordan empire. Yes, you read that correctly. The player who can't fill a medium-sized arena for her comeback game thinks she's about to become the next global sneaker icon. She actually said, "Just like how they wear Jordans everywhere, I want people to wear the Angel Reese ones everywhere and to just be a household name." This is like someone who can't parallel park announcing they're going to compete in Formula One. Let's break down why this is so spectacularly out of touch. Michael Jordan became a global icon because he was undeniably the greatest player of his generation, possibly of all time. He played through flu games, pushed past injuries, and elevated every teammate around him. His shoes became cultural symbols because everyone wanted to be like Mike. His work ethic, his clutch performances, his winning mentality. Now, let's look at Angel Reese. She disappears when her team needs her most. She can't fill 3/4 of her home arena. She's literally the most blocked player in the entire WNBA. What exactly is the selling point here? Wear Angel Reese shoes and you too can quit when things get hard? That's not a marketing campaign. That's a cautionary tale. When she finally graced the court with her presence last night, the Chicago Sky promptly lost 94-88 to the Seattle Storm. Because of course they did. Nothing screams triumphant return quite like immediately taking an L in front of all those empty seats. But the loss itself wasn't even the most embarrassing part of the evening. Reese managed to put up 19 points and 7 rebounds, which might sound decent if you don't look too closely. She shot 69% from the field, but here's the thing. Most of those makes were putbacks and point-blank layups that any professional player should hit with their eyes closed. The 2 layups she missed? Those weren't contested by 3 defenders. They were the kind of gimmies that would get you benched in high school. Here's the stat that really tells the story. Angel Reese remains the most blocked player in the entire WNBA. Let that sink in. In a league full of elite defenders, Reese has distinguished herself as the easiest target. Opponents have studied her so thoroughly, they probably dream about blocking her shots. Every time she goes up for what she thinks is an easy bucket, there's a defender waiting to swat it away like they're playing volleyball. The Chi Barbie nickname she loves is starting to feel like false advertising. Fans are suggesting Bricklayer Barbie might be more accurate. At least that would set honest expectations. When your signature move is getting stuffed at the rim, maybe it's time to workshop a new identity. But the individual statistics only scratch the surface of the damage. The real problem is what Reese does to her team's chemistry. Camila Cardoso had been thriving in Reese's absence, finding her rhythm and contributing quality minutes. The second Reese stepped back on the court, Cardoso's effectiveness plummeted faster than Reese's credibility. It's like Reese's presence throws off the entire team's flow, forcing everyone to adjust to her ball-dominant, inefficient style. This is what separates legitimate stars from self-proclaimed ones. Real leaders elevate their teammates. They create opportunities, make the extra pass, and sacrifice personal glory for team success. Reese does the opposite. She's a basketball black hole where possessions go to die. Her teammates have to work twice as hard just to maintain their own production when she's on the court. That's not leadership. That's sabotage with a smile and a social media hashtag. The comparison to Caitlyn Clark becomes more laughable by the day. Clark fills arenas because fans recognize they're watching someone special, someone who respects the game and plays it the right way. She makes jaw-dropping passes that get her teammates easy buckets. She hits clutch shots when her team needs them most. Most importantly, she shows up every single night, regardless of the score, the opponent, or her personal stats. Meanwhile, Reese treats professional basketball like it's an optional photo shoot with a basketball theme. Every possession seems calculated not for its impact on winning, but for its potential as social media content. She's more concerned with her brand than her team's record, more focused on her image than improving her fundamentals. Fans see right through the act, and they're responding with their absence. Those empty seats at Wintrust Arena weren't just about one poorly attended game. They were a collective statement from fans who are exhausted by the drama, the excuses, and the me-first mentality. They want players who honor the game, who show up for their teammates, who understand that professional sports is about more than building a personal brand. The tragic part is the wasted potential. Reese has physical tools that many players would kill for. She could be a dominant force if she focused on perfecting her craft instead of perfecting her Instagram feed. She could be a true leader if she weathered the storms with her team instead of finding convenient excuses to disappear. She could fill arenas if she gave fans something real to cheer for beyond empty hype and hollow promises. Instead, we get the Angel Reese experience. All sizzle, no steak, and increasingly, no audience. The woman who claims she was single-handedly saving the WNBA can't even save face. The player who dreams of rivaling Michael Jordan can't even rival the attendance of a decent high school playoff game. Last night wasn't just a loss to the Seattle Storm. It was reality serving up a cold dish of truth with a side of empty seats. Those 3,000 absent fans sent a message louder than any boos ever could. Angel Reese isn't the draw she thinks she is. She's not the savior of women's basketball. She's not the next Jordan. She's just another player who confused Instagram followers with actual fans, self-promotion with real achievement, and hype with genuine talent. The saddest part? Reese probably left that arena still convinced she's the victim in all this, still believing that everyone else is the problem. She'll post something on social media about haters and doubters, completely missing the point that fans don't hate her. They've just stopped caring. And in professional sports, apathy is the ultimate insult. At least hatred means you matter enough to evoke emotion. Indifference means you're irrelevant. As the WNBA continues its growth trajectory, it needs stars who understand what really builds a loyal fan base. It's not about catchy nicknames or delusional shoe dreams or taking credit for crowds you didn't draw. It's about consistency, hard work, team-first mentality, and giving fans a reason to invest their time and money. Caitlyn Clark gets it. Sue Bird got it. Maya Moore got it. Angel Reese? She's still too busy admiring her own reflection to notice the empty seats reflecting back at her. The question now isn't whether Reese can fill arenas or launch a shoe empire, or become the household name she desperately craves. The question is whether she'll ever understand why 3,000 people found better things to do than watch her play basketball. Until she figures that out, she'll keep performing to crowds that look more like practice scrimmages than professional games, wondering why the world isn't as obsessed with Angel Reese as Angel Reese is with herself. Maybe that back injury she keeps claiming is real after all. It must be exhausting carrying around that much delusion every single day. The rest of us are just tired of pretending we can't see through it.